One, go.
Welcome back, Bravehearts. It's Lorraine and Cheryl, and we are here for the pelvic restoration and disease prevention Q&A. And today our topic is appendicitis. And the little bit of research that I did, there was one website that said they didn't even know what an appendix was for. And then I did some more research and it said, oh yes, recent studies are now saying it's got something to do with the immune system. It's got a lot to do with the immune system. Cheryl, do you want to jump in and say
I
anything?
can. It's so interesting because when I ask people, do you even know what your appendix is? They have no idea. They have no visual of where their appendix is in their body, except, somewhere on the right down here, because that's where everybody says you hurt. Well, it's a tiny little pouch that's attached to the large intestine. And yes, it is in the, lower right quadrant of your body. And it is when it gets infected, right? It'll swell up, just like if you had a big old pimple inside your body somewhere full of pus and infection and bacteria. And then it swells to the point where you feel it, right? And then there's all these different symptoms that people will have that most people will mistake for the flu. You get that cramping, you've got loss of appetite, you feel nauseous, you might have constipation or diarrhea, you might have a fever. So all of these sound very much like you have the flu. And just recently, my girlfriend, who I've known for a long time, who does massage work, and she said, oh, I think I'm coming down with the flu. I better cancel my people. And she let it go on for about a week before she finally went to the doctor because the pain was so excruciating. And at that point, her appendix was about to burst. Right? So what did they do? They rushed her into surgery. So what is actually appendicitis? Go ahead, Lorraine.
Okay, so appendicitis, what it is it's when the appendix gets inflamed, like what Cheryl said, and what I found out, it said it could be a blockage from the appendix to the large intestine, so it could be fecal matter sitting right there. That's what they said. Or it could be bacterial or viral. It can be something like that, an infection inside the appendix itself. But what we know for sure that this happens because of the pooping in your pelvis. So when we look at the body and we see where the appendix is, it's way down there in the pelvic area. So, it only makes sense if you've got a leaky large intestine because of the fungus that have drilled holes in there, and the fungus only gets proliferant. I know that's not a word, but it's close. It multiplies a lot in the large intestine when you're not food combining well, when you're not chewing well, when you're not slowing down and enjoying your meal and actually being in a good frame of mind when you eat. Because when you're angry, when you're upset, when you're in a hurry, you're not digesting. When you haven't food combined well, you can't digest it. So these things slow down that digestion transition. And when that happens, things start to churn in your stomach and they keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. But they're staying there and they're not breaking down because they're not going to break down. The particles are too big. Your food combining isn't well. You were angry or in a hurry or upset. All these things count. And then it putrefies. And when it putrefies, you're feeding the bad bacteria, the fungus, and the parasites. And the fungus are the worst predators because they're the ones that are going to drill the little holes in the large intestine. And then anything transitioning through the large intestine has the opportunity to fall into the pelvic bowl where there is no exit. So you get a manure pile. So I know appendicitis is more prevalent in younger people. Teenage is what I read, but even up to 30. And like Cheryl said, a lady in her 40s. And you know what? I remember a gentleman friend of mine. He was well in his 50s when he had his appendicitis. So it could happen at any age. And like Cheryl said, a lot of people will put it off and just think it's something that's going to rectify itself. And sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. If it's a blockage and then all of a sudden that block moves. So a blockage, that would be constipation. And it can be diarrhea too, because we know when you've got constipation, one of the things your body's going to do, it's going to pull water from every resource that it can into the large intestine. It says, body, we need to flush this out. The river's no longer flowing. Give me all the water you got. So you get diarrhea. So you flip-flop between constipation and diarrhea. But nevertheless, that manure pile keeps growing because you don't even know that you've got holes in the large intestine. Cheryl?
Well, that was a lot, but it's absolutely true. And I know that I see a lot of clients, and it's really easy to tell when you have inflammation in your body because you have that swelling in your abdomen, right? And Lorraine's right. We do not drink enough water on the average, so that when you do need that water to keep your colon healthy and moving and to make sure that it actually can, work and squeeze to get things through the back door, and it doesn't always work that way. And of course, structured water being the best water that you can put into your body, because then that water is going to work so much more efficiently than the water that's been polluted out there through our public water systems, or you could have contaminated well water. I mean, you're lucky if you have well water, but still you can, that's not for sure. And of course, one of the things they give to you as soon as you have a problem is they give you antibiotics. And as soon as you take those antibiotics, you're now killing any good bacteria that might have been in your large intestine, right? Well, they say they're killing the bad. And now you're very vulnerable. And so then you're increasing that inflammation that much more because you'll get what's called a rebound reaction. And so most antibiotics, from what I've read for years and years, is it's never 100%. You can never kill 100% of bacteria. And so what happens is that 2 to 5% that's left in there goes, oh, thank you. Now you have nothing to fight me. I'm just going to blow up. And then you have more inflammation, and the problem then gets more exacerbated. But like Lorraine said, it's learning to eat the foods, the whole plant-based diet that takes away that inflammation, right? Along with the best, most amazing nutraceuticals that we have in this world, on this planet right now, through the DACA Detox store. So why don't we start talking about how they can remedy this situation?
Okay, so if I was having trouble, I would first of all look in that PDG free. If you haven't downloaded the Perfect Day Manual, go ahead and download it. And just know the downloaded version, you can actually search up words. So you could put appendicitis and see what comes up. Or whatever condition you have. Or you could put constipation and see what comes up. That's the beauty of something that's downloaded, is you can search for specific words, and it'll give you the pages and anything that reference that word. But if you're like me, I'm old school, I like the book. I want the book. I want to be able to physically see it, turn the pages, dog ear the pages, highlight, scribble, make my own little notes, put little stickies. Yes, exactly. And I'm in Calgary here, and I have a number of those hard copies. If someone is interested, you can give me a phone call, 403-605-9216. Cheryl, you've got copies too?
Unfortunately, everybody has bought me out. I had 25 copies, and every client that's come in here has taken one. Now I have to order some more.
Awesome. Well, I just got a shipment, so I'm stocked. So anybody in the Alberta area, you can give me a call if you're interested in a book, or you can download that pdgfree.com and start there. And then, of course, the nutraceuticals. So first of all, learning the protocol of what the perfect day looks like, and learning how to prepare things, food combine well, chew well, be in a relaxed state, don't bring any angry energy. Everything is about energy. Everything is about energy, and our bodies know when we're agitated. And when we're agitated, we shouldn't be eating. Because it's not going to serve the body. The body is not being served. It cannot be in that sympathetic nervous system and digest. It never happens. We need to be back in the parasympathetic nervous system. So you also want to be, if I were you, I would be on our daily cleansing tea to support all of the inner organs and get all of the inner organs cleansed and moving properly and starting to detoxify, which helps the large intestine move those toxins out. And then, like Cheryl said, be hydrated with the structured water. And I really like the Cell Power. If anyone wants to get some more information on that, you can just put a little note in the comments and I can send you some more information on them. But I have found that I'm sleeping better. The energy level is different. Even with the flying to and from Australia, I know that had something to do with it. I know last year when I came back from Australia, it took me a couple of weeks before I felt normal. But I feel great. And the only change is that cell power. So, when the cells are getting the hydrogen that they need, yeah, they perform way better. Sure.
I agree. I love my Cell Power, especially after exercising. And there's so many different things. You can do the one for energy. You can do the one for recovery, right? I'm always telling people that when they have children or they don't have children, when you start to do anything in your life, you research it. Everything except our health, right? We don't really understand because we have been ruled, fooled, and schooled about the horrible pyramid of what they used to call health and what you were supposed to eat. And that pyramid was put together by the big conglomerates who wanted to get rid of their cow milk and everything else that, to pass it along, right? So as Lorraine said, pdgfree.com, start educating yourself and remember to take the baby steps. It's taken you how many years to put your body in this position? And that's like Daryl said, Dr. Wolf says all the time, 1% a day. If you do 1% a day, you're talking 100 days and you're already at 100% of the perfect day protocol. And the best way to stop is to remove the poisons from your house. Get rid of the processed food and the packaged foods. That's the easiest thing you can do, right? The chips, the crackers, the things that have zero frequency. Think about that. If you're a frequency being, like Lorraine said, and we know that we are, if I'm putting zero or negative frequency in my body, how is that going to raise my life force energy? I mean, it's really not rocket science, right? Fruit resonates at that really high frequency because it's so juicy and full of just so much life. But you need your vegetables, you need your fiber. The more raw you eat, the better you can be. Now, is your body got enough of the digestive things that it needs in order to be able to digest that? Well, we're going to help you out. You want to be on the black gold. The black gold is going to get into the intestines. It's not only going to create an environment for the good bacteria to grow, but it's also going to attach to the parasites and the bacteria and the fungus. And it's going to send it out the body. It's going to grab hold of it. Oh, I just like it. It's like, I think of Pac-Man. I visualize my black gold going in and just literally taking it and off it goes, right? So then you're supporting yourself and you're doing the ultimate coffee enemas because that also includes the black gold and the most amazing organic coffee because that stimulates the liver. And Lorraine explains this so beautifully. So I'm going to let Lorraine explain how amazing the Ultimate Coffee Enema is.
Yeah. So the Ultimate Coffee Enema, you're like Cheryl said, you're going to make your coffee and add the black gold in there. And then you're going to let that come to a boil for 5 minutes and then turn it to simmer for 15. And then you're ready to strain it out and strain out the grounds and then cool it down. Once it's cooled down, you can add maybe Tummy Love, which is a combination of humic and fulvic, or if you have the Black Diamond, I mean, that's the one I like to use because it's a smaller molecule. And both Tummy Love and Black Diamond work in the blood system. But the Black Diamond is small enough that it crosses the blood-brain barrier. So it goes deeper into the system than the Tummy Love does. So my choice is the Black Diamond, but if you've got Tummy Love, use the Tummy Love. And then you want to be able to insert that and hold the coffee in there for 3 minutes would be great. There is the hepatic portal, which is about 2 inches above the rectum. And that gives the coffee, the Ultimate Coffee, direct access to the liver. So it goes whoop right into the liver. And then it puts the liver on what I'm going to call hyperdrive. And it is creating way more antioxidants. And if you can hold that coffee in for 3 minutes, you've allowed your entire blood system to run through the liver when it is detoxifying and nourishing and supporting all your body on hyperdrive. If you can hold it 6 minutes, it's gone through twice. If you can hold 9 minutes 3 times, 12 minutes 4 times, that's enough. You don't have to hold any longer than that. But whenever you get the urge, that's when you're going to, get up and go to the bathroom. But this will take you from a state of I'm flat out, I can't do anything, to a state of, oh my God, I feel human again. And it's just such an amazing thing when we can actually support the liver as it's doing the work that it does. The liver is the most overworked organ that we have.
That's a beautiful explanation. And I always tell people also use the belly button therapy. Using the belly button therapy to put yourself into that parasympathetic state. You don't have to do it just morning and night. No, do it whenever you feel any kind of stress or anxiety. That means that you're back in your sympathetic state. Get that belly button tool out and you just work your abdomen. And it's amazing to do that before you do the Ultimate Coffee Enema, right?
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
One of the things belly button therapy does is it increases the temperature of your core. And if you look in Chinese medicine, a lot of the problems that we have is because the core is cold. So we want to increase that temperature.
Oh, I do it at night laying in bed, and literally I can feel my temperature come up. I probably notice it more at night than I do in the morning because you've been going all day long, right? And then I can just feel myself get warm. I have to pull the covers back down and go, whew, wow, is it hot in here or what? And then, of course, if you haven't done an enema before in your life, I always suggest to people that you do a warm water one first, right? Support yourself. Get some of the blockage out of the way so that you can hold it for the 3 minutes or the 6 or the 9 or the 12. And it really is like magic, just like Lorraine said. When I do that, I make it part of my morning at least 3 to 4 times a week. It is literally it's like taking a drink of adrenaline. I get up and I go, I feel great, right? Because you've just cleaned out all that old junk and stuff that's been sitting in there because your body is absorbing all the time in the intestines. So if you're full of fecal matter, can you imagine? It's constantly going, whew, how do I get rid of this? What am I going to do? It's taking a lot of your energy, a lot of your life force energy. So you do want to support yourself. And as Lorraine was saying, Black Diamond can be taken from both ends because you really want to be taking the Black Diamond and the Beyond Ormus minerals in your drinking water all day. This is another way to really, really support yourself. right? So the black diamond crosses that blood-brain barrier. So it's also getting into the blood and doing the same thing in the blood that the black gold can only do in your gut, in your intestine, right? So you've got the black diamond going in and doing the same thing in the blood, attaching to any kind of free radicals or fungus, parasite, whatever it is, and passing it through so it can also be expelled out of the body. I mean, to me, that is just magical.
Well, and the humic balances our hormones too, ladies. So if you've got problems with your period or anything that is hormonal, men too, you have hormones too. So it's going to balance your hormones. It's going to balance your metabolism. If your metabolism is so-called slow, it's going to put it back to where normal is for you. It's going to help you gain weight if you need to gain weight, or lose weight if you need to lose weight. Like, it's just magical when we can start using these ancient dirt, I'm going to call it. Yeah. So the humic and the fulvic. So the black gold, the black diamond, and the tummy love in the ultimate coffee enema. And if you're in a chronic condition, you can be doing that ultimate coffee enema even twice a day. I remember when I was working with a naturopath and I was doing it a few times a day, but I was in a chronic condition. I'm not in a chronic condition anymore, and I still do an ultimate coffee enema for sure at least once a week. And sometimes if I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, that energy level is going down, that's my liver saying, hey, you're overloaded. You're either doing too much, you're not slowing down enough, something's going on, I can't keep up. So then I want to support my liver. And for sure, if I'm constipated, I want to get that crap out. I want to get that moving. So hydrate, and use that daily cleansing tea, the black gold, the black diamond. Yeah. And of course, we want to support that cleaning up of the pelvic area. So if you're a gentleman, you're doing a rectal infusion, but you would do the ultimate coffee enema first to clean out the pipes, right? Because you want the infusion to actually go in and get absorbed. And then women, of course, we can do it both. We can do both, rectal and vaginal. And anytime we do nutraceuticals from the bottom up, they actually work 65% better because they don't have to go through the digestion. Cheryl?
Isn't that amazing? I've had one of my just recently clients that came in suffering from what she calls hot flashes. And so she's just brand new to doing this work. And I said, oh, honey, you don't got to be taken. I forget what the doctor put her on for these hot flashes. Was it supposed to somehow come in and block the hormonal pathway so that she wasn't going to have the hot flash? I can't even imagine the damage that's doing for where those hormones really do need to go. If it's blocking the hormones in her body, I'm like, oh, please stop. Yeah. I've got a vaginal infusion with your name on it. And so she's going to go home and she's going to start this. And of course, as most women have been taught, they've been taught that it's okay to eat yogurt, tons of yogurt. And of course, milk products create such a large amount of inflammation in our large intestine that people don't realize can happen, right? And they get really addicted to it because, as I learned in taking the Whole Life Coach course, that milk attaches to the same receptors as heroin. And, so yeah, you get really addicted to eating it because you feel so good for just a moment. For just that moment that it, hits those receptors. And then, like anybody who's not taking the drug over and over, you start going through withdrawal. And so your body's form of withdrawal is inflammation, right? And this is what causes that whole snowball effect of the bacteria and the fungus and the holes and the pooping in our pelvis. And women have never been taught that. So I always tell everybody, you can get to a whole life coach, get to a whole life coach. You can learn the Wolf Non-Surgical, do that. But at least get to a pelvic restoration and dis-ease prevention course. Women need to educate themselves. That's what this course is about. pelvic restoration and disease prevention, because everything is irreversible. Even if you've had your uterus removed, does not mean that the energy isn't still there. There is still so much information that you should have at any age, 13 to 90. I don't care how old you are. Cleaning and keeping our pelvic area pristine and helping our immune system as we get older especially is so vital. I mean, I've taken 20 years off of my life and my energy and my aging process by doing those vaginal infusions, by doing the Perfect Day protocol, by taking the nutraceuticals, doing the coffee enemas. I mean, I would not stop doing what I'm doing now for anything. You, Lorraine?
Yeah, exactly. I got a gentleman that I did a consult with, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and he's come up with a few symptoms again, and so I just had to remind him, what are you doing? What are your protocols? But his first statement was, you keep looking younger and younger. What are you doing? And it's because I am taking care of this beautiful body. I am not letting go of that. I feel great. I know when I was in Ixtapa, I did a test with one of my girlfriends that it gave your body's hydration, the amount of fat that your body had, the amount of muscle, and then it gave you a biological age. Well, my biological age at that point, and that was only a couple years ago, was 44. And I'm going to be 67 next month. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Take care of your body. Your body knows how to heal, and it will do miracles by the minute. I'm going to call them miracles, but they really aren't. It's built in to everybody. We get a cut, and we don't question the fact that it's going to heal. Everything else we question. And my question to you is why? If my body knows how to heal a cut, it knows how to heal everything else. What we need to do is supply the body with what it needs and detoxify. And that's why our program is so beautiful. Right, Cheryl?
Oh, it's one of the most amazing classes, and just the privilege of being able to teach it with Lorraine, it just means so much to me. You're not only in a group of women, and let's say how powerful it is when women come together, how healing and nurturing and magical it really is when we are all dedicated to the same outcome. And we're going to give you tools. We're going to give you exercises. You're going to leave with a book. You're going to leave with lifetime support, because once a month, Lorraine and I are also doing a private Q&A for all the women that have taken the course. So bring all your questions. And of course, you can text us anytime if you're having issues in the moment, and we're going to get right back to you. We have our own WhatsApp group, so you can text and ask questions anytime. You get supported by all the women in the group. And it's taking that time out for ourselves, because women, we push ourselves. We push ourselves constantly. We are supposed to be as wonderful and hardworking as men and make as much money, but still be nurturing and caring and do the cooking and take care of the house. And I mean, the amount of stress that women put on themselves is so ridiculous. And we put ourselves at the very bottom of the list. And that's not unconditional self-love. So you come to this course and you really immerse yourself in unconditional self-love. And you take that time to nurture yourself and to educate yourself and to start healing yourself. It really is amazing. So when is our next course, Lorraine?
Well, our next course for the Pelvic Restoration and Disease Prevention Masterclass is in Ixtapa, Mexico. And it is November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And obviously, or maybe not obviously to everybody, but the course itself starts on
October 9th.
Thank you so much, with the Whole Life Coach. And then we have the Wolf Non-Surgical, which is followed. And then after that is the Pelvic Restoration and Disease Prevention Masterclass. And just know that our prices are lower than they have ever been. If you're Canadian, you're paying in Canadian dollars. If you're Australian, you're paying in Australian dollars. If you're US, you're paying in US dollars. We're making it as easy as possible, and our prices are down almost 40%. Like we want to get this information out. We want to make it as easy as possible. I found this information so life changing. I found me. And I started with Daryl when I was about 60. So who can do these courses? Anybody. An 8-year-old can understand this. Matter of fact, a 2.5-year-old can understand what's going on.
And I just had my girlfriend, my best friend in the whole world, I've known for, believe it or not, 50 plus years, came to the pelvic restoration course in Florida. And she is still talking about how important that course was and how much she's been implementing it into her life and how much of a difference it's making, right? Because it is just that magical and informative. I mean, it's not just magical, it's informative. And you're right. Any age you can do this. And the sooner you do it, the better. And on top of that, Lorraine and I are so dedicated to this work that no matter where you are, if you can get a group of women together, what would you say, at least 10? And we will come to you and we will make the course happen. So if you can't get to Ixtapa, but you got a group of women in LA, let us know. We will fit it into a schedule and we'll make that happen for you.
Yeah, exactly. We want to be able to help everybody, because some people may want even just a private, just one-on-one, and that can be done too. You bet. You'd have to, the cost would be different because it's just one-on-one, right? But we would figure out something and make that happen. And we want to be able to help as many women as possible to understand how beautiful these bodies are and how miraculous they can shift from being a state of dis-ease to a state of thriving. I don't know about you, I'm done with surviving. I'm just done with surviving. I am thriving. And you can see the difference. If you knew what I looked like before compared to now, people just see that lightness in you and they're attracted to you. And I want people to feel the same.
I notice it all the time, Lorraine, and so do my friends. And I haven't seen them in a while. And I look at them and I go, oh my gosh, they've aged so much. And I really get to see, because I look so different than I did when I first started these courses, Wolf Non-Surgical. Most people didn't see me back then because I wasn't on TV as much. But what a difference in my face and my body and my energy and my frequency is so much higher than it ever was. And I just want to say also, I know there's a lot of online courses out there, but it isn't the same as being in a room with other women and feeling the frequency and watching vibration. It just is magical. Yes, we can take courses in our own homes, but it isn't the same as being in a classroom with 10 to 20 other women who are dedicated, open, loving. That takes that healing and takes it from here and takes it way up here, because now you've got everybody raising their frequency, everybody joining in, everybody laughing, and everybody doing the meditations and the breathings and the exercises. It's like you're in full support. You've got all this support in person.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you can't make the one in October, there's one, I believe it's the beginning of February or the end of February. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in March, we're here in Calgary. We're here in Calgary with the Whole Life Coach, the Wolf Non-Surgical, and the Pelvic Restoration. And to get the exact dates, go to bhnuniversity.com or braveheartnation.com. It's going to take you to the same place. And you can find more information on the courses. You can register for the courses, put that $500 down, and then it has to be finished paying by the time you start. So get your money down, put your money where your mouth is. You will not regret it. And also know that there are lectures happening here in Canada again. Dr. Wolf is going to be here in Toronto on October the 20th. and then in Kelowna on the 23rd. And then he's going to be here in Calgary. He's going to do 2 lectures for me. The evening of the 24th, which is a Thursday, and the Saturday, the 26th. And then I've got Dr. Sage Wolf coming to Calgary, and he is he's going to be doing non-surgical for people, anybody who wants him to do the work on him. And he's going to be here November the 19th till the 28th. And you have to give me a call if you want to book an appointment with him. My number is 403-605-9216. You can call me about the lectures too. What else do I need to say?
Well, sorry. If you can't make it to the courses, but you want to do something amazing for yourself, go to dod5star.com and have your own private amazing experience down in Ixtapa, Mexico at the new amazing healing center that Dr. Wolf has built with an amazing salt water structured phenomenal pool that you can be in. It's got every energy device you could possibly imagine, but you can take any of the courses there. You want to take the pelvic restoration? You can. You want to do a whole life coach? You can. And you can do these private ones, even the Wolf non-surgical. You can come and do a fast. You can come and do a juice fast or a water fast, but you can come and educate your family. Imagine a vacation where you go down to the most gorgeous place in Ixtapa, right? And you can have your own amazing experience. But yes, come to Calgary, do the courses, go to Ixtapa, make it happen. I agree with you, Lorraine.
Yeah. And speaking of water fast, our next 6-day advanced water fast, the prep will be Wednesday, September the 25th at 1 Eastern. So that's on all of our social media platforms. That's a Q&A. And then the kickoff is on Wednesday, October the 9th at 1 p.m. So mark those in your calendar if you want to participate with that advanced water fast. It is the most dynamic thing you can do for your body. I did one when I was in Australia, and it's next level. It's next level. Yeah, I can't put words on how fabulous you feel.
It's a reset. Because life just happens. And then when you take time off, what I love, the magic of it is, as I'm doing the water fast, the advanced water fast, and I noticed that, all the things that I was doing that probably weren't the best things for me, but I really have time to sit down and see that. Not only that, I have so much more time for myself, because you spend a great deal of time prepping food, eating food, and doing all these kind of things. And all of a sudden I have all this time, and it's like this amazing mental relief. I go, all I have to do is drink water and my nutraceuticals and take care of myself and, do my enemas and do my infusions, and it's like a treat to myself. And it's doing magic to my body. And I'm in autophagy, and I'm cleaning out all this extra stuff out of my body. So it's like how you put your liver on hyperdrive. So the advanced water fast puts your whole body into hyperdrive healing. So that's what I call it. And so I'm going to support myself forever doing these advanced water fasts, because I'm going to stay in hyperdrive healing.
Exactly. It is an amazing thing to be doing. And we are at that time. I think we've pretty much said everything that we needed to say. Rafa, I think it's time that we can just wrap this up. And I thank you from my heart for being present and being here with Cheryl and I. If you had questions, please put them in. I will check and answer any questions that came up. And I think that's about it. Cheryl, any closing statement?
Well, I just want to say, remember to fly, which is first love yourself. Do your mirror work. Do anything, all the things the tools that you know of. Read the book, The Perfect Day Guide. Follow. Start taking wonderful steps towards your own health and love. And just know that we can't wait to see you again next Monday at 2:00, where we'll cover some different topic. But just know, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. And that would be 2 o'clock Pacific, which is 5 o'clock Eastern.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. Just know that I love you guys. And 3, 2, 1, we've
We
got
got
this.
this.